a 1967 Opel Kadett, a 1977 Chevy station wagon, a Malibu, a 1967 Mercedes 230, a 1969 Lincoln Continental with the suicide doors, a 1972 Dodge Coronet, and a 1950 Desoto. Let's go to the yard.
Here's kind of an oddball. It's a German General Motors car. This is actually a 1967 Opel Kadett. You don't see these a lot. There's the Cadet badge. I had a 68 briefly that someone had made a drag car to in the 60s. It had like a 327 in it. But let's see if I get the hood open. This thing's pretty well rusted. It's got the little four-cylinder engine there. These were actually sold by Buick dealers back when they were available on these shores. So Buick actually sold these Opels. Of course, they sold the Opel GTs and whatever other Opels that were available back then. This one, pretty crusty. It's like the roof's caved in. Maybe someone was stepping on it. It's like it was kind of left for dead for many years. Someone's already got all the instruments out of it. I'm guessing someone must have saw this came in and that needed a dash and pulled it all out. It's got a like a 4-speed in it. It's like there's spare taillights, so someone might have been using it to store extra Opel parts because the taillights are actually still on this car. But kind of a crispy critter, but one that's sort of rare on these shores. Not a lot of these around. Yeah, something someone would have saved? No, definitely not. But a lot of good stuff left on this for somebody who's maybe restoring one or looking to stock up on some parts for these. These were kind of neat. If you look, it's kind of like a gold color and had the black on the hood, like as a two-tone on the hood, make it a little sporty look. But definitely an unusual car to see at a wrecking yard. All right, here's one for the long roof fans. This is actually a 1977 Chevy Malibu station wagon. This one's got a small block in it. Someone's already snagged the radiator out of it. These were just set out here. This was just set out here just a few days ago. Someone got the grill. I'm kind of surprised it's not more stripped than it is. It's got the old slot mags on it. Chevy bolt pattern, so it doesn't do me any good. Everything I have is pretty much Ford or Chrysler right now. I don't need any Chevy bolt pattern. Door does not open. Someone's grabbed the steering column out of it. And it looks like this car was just like one of those ones that was just left outside for many years. See if I can get a good shot of the interior. Yeah, definitely showing 32,000 miles, so probably 132,000. Door panels completely shot. But the body on this thing, actually, it's got a little bit of a hole there. Body wasn't too bad. I mean, if someone had an interior out of another one, they could have done something with it. And I don't know if that was done by the forklift to get the rear hatch open here, or if it actually came in that way. But kind of sad that the rear hatch there isn't looking good. I don't think it was hit because the bumper isn't touched. Just the rear hatch looks like that's forklift damage. This one actually has all 4 of those slot mags on it too. But yeah, this is really sad to see a long roof Malibu. It's 77, so it is a small gear. That may be why it was taken off the road. But yeah, very unusual car to see these days. You don't even see these on the road anymore, and you certainly don't see them in the wrecking yard anymore. All right, here's another German car. This is a 1967 Mercedes 230. So again, it's just not something you see these days very much. It's like the grill's still there, but it's smashed in. If it wasn't, it would probably be gone, and someone's already got the headlight doors off of this one. But yeah, not something you see a lot of. I don't know Mercedes too well, so I don't know. I'm sure some of these parts are kind of expensive or hard to get. It's got the old sheepskin covers. Those were real popular back in the 70s. People used to put sheepskin covers on their cars, especially in California. When the sun would get hot and you have leather or vinyl interior, it would protect you from having your legs stick to the seat and get hot and burn your leg off when you're wearing shorts. So I'm guessing this one was off the road for many years. Looks like there's some rust there along the trunk ledge, and someone's already grabbed all that stuff off of it. But this one actually had the wire wheels, and actually the wire wheels are kind of like scattered about here. So let me get around here since this guy's working on tearing apart that Corvette. So it's pretty straight. I'm sure like in Germany they would have, if they had this car, they would be restoring it, but maybe not something over here that's necessarily worth restoring. Kind of neat to see nonetheless. Oh man, this one's the last of the suicide door Lincolns. This is a 1969 Continental. So definitely the end of an era. Looks like the motor was completely disassembled probably before we wound up out here. I think these had like a 460 in them by 1969. I think they'd gotten rid of the MEL motor by then. If I'm wrong, please correct me, but I think it would have had a 460 in 69. Interior's completely gutted. I mean, you can see the dashes on these were pretty elaborate, as you can imagine. This is a very expensive luxury car when it was new, and it's definitely seen much better days. As you can see, something looks like it's got its own ecosystem growing in there. Power seat. I mean, these things had power windows. These were pretty deluxe cars. Come around the back. I mean, you know, by then the styling wasn't as cool as the early '60s Continentals, but they were still really nice cars nonetheless. This one looks like it just sat outside for so many years. But I mean, the bumpers are good, quarter panels are good. It's actually got old school torque thrusts on it for some reason, which you normally wouldn't expect to see on a Continental. And you can see the interior, the pattern there. I mean, to restore one of these, you'd spend a fortune. So definitely this car is definitely a parts car. This never would have gotten saved because of the expense of restoring these. Even when you do a convertible Continental, which I think they stopped selling the convertibles after '66. I think '66 was last year, the convertible. Those just cost a fortune to restore. Still, it's a classic Continental, and we're going to feature it right here on our video. All right, this car is actually the reason why I came out here to the junkyard. This is a 1972 Dodge Coronet. I had a '73 Satellite, which was basically the same body. This one has only been out here a couple of days. Someone's already got all the front end pieces off of it. It's got a 318 in it. It's like a 2-barrel carburetor. So pretty much your standard car for that year. Not something that's like a police package or anything like that. Although it kind of looks like a NARC car. Which is what I used to do with mine. My '73 Satellite, I put a CB in it and all that stuff. Tried to make it look a little bit more like a NARC car. But actually, I wanted to get the rear end out of this, but when they jacked it up, they just kind of set the jack stands on the gas tank. So, and the rear wheels are actually still like on the ground. So I'm not really feeling comfortable about climbing under there to pull that rear end. All the dash stuff's pretty much gone. So dropped the steering column, probably to get more of that stuff. It's like it had like a lot of primer on it, probably had a lot of body work done to it over the years. See the rear window looks like it was resealed in properly at one time, probably started leaking. It's not something someone would have saved. It's probably not quite in that good of a condition, but I mean, you don't see these anymore. These cars are just all gone. I mean, and to see one popping up at the wrecking yard, it's still sad because someone might have actually done something with this if it was like a good running car, or, you know, if the motor was still good, which it might actually still be. I mean, these 318s do last a long time. So just something odd to see popping up here at the classics line at the old wrecking yard. Now here's a really odd one. This is actually a 1950 Desoto set on what looks like a Ford Ranger. So below it's a Ford Ranger. See the firewall? It's like someone had taken the body off of this Desoto, tried to set it on a Ranger. So the dash is Ford Ranger, floor pan Ford Ranger, and then it's just sort of like a mismatch. Probably a project that was long abandoned. Like I said, it's pretty stripped. I'm guessing it must have arrived here like this and someone just kind of gave up on it, but just thought I'd show it just because it's something really interesting. Especially that they were trying to take, you know, a newer car and stick the body of an old car on top of it. And I just thought maybe my viewers would want to see it. So here it is, the Ford Ranger with the Desoto set on top.
All right, so that's going to wrap things up for Volume 20 of WTF Is That Doing in the Junkyard. As always, be sure to leave a comment as to what your favorite car was in this video. Also, be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and then also hit the notification bell. That way you get notified whenever I post one of these videos. We're going to be doing some work, hopefully, on either the Cougar or the Maverick, whichever one I get actual license plates on first. Most likely is going to be our car for the Monterey Lemons Rally next month in August. So we're kind of excited about that. And if neither of them are registered, we're going to have to figure something else out. But until next time, I'll be seeing you.